Hey, vinyl community, I wanted to do a video on some RSD records that are dropping that I haven't heard anybody on any other channel talking about. RSD, RSD, RSD. And I don't know if these have just been newly added to the list, but wanted to make sure that you are up to speed on some of the records that you can expect to see at your local record store. RSD, I think it's June 12th. The first album that I want to talk about is by Greta Thunberg. Now, she's a Swedish environmental activist who has been challenging world leaders to address climate change. However, it turns out she is also actually a very gifted singer-songwriter in her own right, and she is covering a collection of Johnny Nash songs. This particular album is called I Can See Clearly Now, the songs of Johnny Nash. And some of the songs that Greta performs on the record are going to be A Teenager Sings the Blues, Let the Rest of the World Go By, Looks Like the End of the World, I'm Counting on You, and of course, I Can See Clearly Now. So I've not heard her perform yet. I tried to look up a couple of videos on YouTube. There's some very grainy coffee house. It looks like she's performing in some kind of Swedish coffee house or pub. I'm not sure what it is. The audio quality is not that great. She's got a pretty decent voice, I have to say. I'm interested to see what she does with Johnny Nash's catalog, but nonetheless, that is one that we can definitely look forward to. RSD, this coming June. The second album that I have not seen anybody else talk about is Kenny Loggins, his Hellfire album from 1986. This is definitely a darker album than Kenny Loggins had been known for, a little more aggressive rock and roll. I wouldn't go so far as to call it heavy metal, but definitely harder than anything Kenny Loggins had performed to this point. It's got the songs Dance with the Devil, Lucifer Calling, Satan Rising, and the title track. It's very interesting, especially if you enjoyed Kenny Loggins' movie soundtracks and you're kind of wishing that there was a little more bite to them. I think this album will definitely satisfy you. And it's going to be dropping, I guess, on a red-colored vinyl. I haven't actually seen what the vinyl looks like, but I understand it will be colored either red or kind of like a dark orange. So something to look forward to. The third one is going to be the Look Who's Talking Now soundtrack from 1993, which features music performed by Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page did the instrumental soundtrack for this album, so it's all instrumental music. But if you like Jimmy Page, if you liked his Death Wish 2 soundtrack, you might find a lot to enjoy here. It's got Mikey's theme, I Want a Dog for Christmas, Mommy Knows Best, Daphne's theme, Doggy Made a Doo-Doo. And again, they're all, I guess, I don't want to say extended guitar solos. I'm sure there's some soloing in there, but they're more kind of atmospheric mood pieces from what I understand. And I believe that is going to be a half Speedmaster for you audiophiles out there. You can definitely enjoy that one. Number 4, everybody talks about Johnny Cash and his excellent albums, Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison, Johnny Cash at San Quentin, but people forget that in 1984, Dolly Parton actually did a concert at Rikers Island, and we are finally getting that album, that live album. It's not been released before, but it's definitely exciting for anyone who is into Dolly Parton, who enjoys her music, and especially if you enjoy Dolly Parton live. Dolly covers 9 to 5, Here You Come Again, Heartbreak Express, I Will Always Love You. One thing I'd be interested to find out is, I've heard some bootleg recordings of this concert. You've got a lot of the inmates who are very disrespectful to Dolly. Show us your tits. Woo! Just a lot of catcalling that was really unnecessary, and I'm curious if that is going to be removed from this recording or if they're going to, issue it live as it happened. I tend to think they're probably, just to preserve Dolly's legacy, going to clean some of that stuff up, take out some of the F-bombs, just the really inappropriate comments that the inmates were shouting at her, which I think take away from the performance. But nonetheless, if you like Dolly live, you will definitely want to check this one out. And the last album that is coming out on record release day, which I've heard nobody else talk about, is Iggy Pop's 1984 aerobic dancing album. Yeah, Iggy Pop released an aerobic dancing album back in the 80s. You had Jane Fonda, Richard Simmons, I think Mary Lou Retton was releasing aerobic albums, and for whatever reason, Iggy Pop thought he would throw his hat into the ring and join in the fray. It's largely re-recordings of popular 80s dance songs back in the day with Iggy Pop kind of shouting out aerobic instructions in the background. Jumping jacks, jog in place, arms over your head, now to the left. It's like that kind of stuff over really cheesy 80s re-recordings of like Fame, the Footloose theme, E.T., Ghostbusters, Denise Williams, Let's Hear for the Boy, that kind of stuff. So it's charming in a way. It's not something you're probably going to want to listen to more than once, but if you're a completist and you need to have every single thing that Iggy Pop released in your collection, you'll want to check this one out. So again, those are some RSD releases that, for whatever reason, have not been covered, at least none of the channels that I've seen. And I thought you guys might want to check out. So anyway, hope you do. Hope you're having a great day. And as always, take care.